So let's start, everyone. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining. This session, as you can imagine by the title, is about cloud metering and billing. My name is Jorge Gonzalez. I'm a consultant at Dell Technologies, and I'm here with my colleague and telco architect, Joao. Say hello, Joao.
Good afternoon, everyone.
And as you can imagine, we want to introduce you to a new management solution that it was designed to quickly enable any new service and optimize the invoices of your clients. So this solution would be possible without the collaboration and a strong partnership we have with Exivity. And that's the reason why we brought Tim on board. So please, Tim, introduce yourself.
Yeah, thank you, Jorge. My name is Tim Rapp. I'm the product owner at Exivity. We are basically the driving force behind the Dell Universal Metering and Billing Solution. We're a software company based in Amsterdam in the Netherlands, and we've had quite some experience with onboarding managed service providers and large enterprises with automating their meter-based billing strategies.
I see. So let's move on then.
Sure. Oh, let me just.
Yeah, don't worry. This has been a long day. Everyone probably has been busy looking for the next big thing, right? What is the next excellent offering to include in the portfolio and how to maximize profitability of the current offerings? So, most of the people don't think billing is exciting, not sexy. Someone else do that job for them. Maybe it's the guys from operation. Maybe it's the guy from delivery. Those are the guys that usually take care of these things. So why should I spend this next 30 minutes on this? What do you think? Well, the first reason is money, right? So money may not run the world, but it's definitely very, very important. And the second reason is that there are more people like you. There's people concerned about the billing system, the way things are working in the back office, right? And I just share an experience that I have myself. We try to use we realize for business chargeback system that it was oriented for costing to provide a self-service portal for the customer to check the pricing when I was a product manager at my time. And, I really believe many other service providers don't realize yet that they have an issue with the billing or simply they have give up. They are concerned about the situation, but they feel that they cannot change what is the back office doing. So they basically needs to slow down and the market don't go at the same time as the back office goes. And that's where I think we need to put something in the equation to change. So what are your thoughts, Tim?
Yeah, we see this also a lot in the field with primarily managed service providers, but also large enterprises, being able to automate and streamline these billing needs and getting visibility on hybrid cloud really spendings and implementing automation rules for complex billing usually ends up into weird Excel sheets that nobody really understands, let alone the um, the um, the issue of errors that may pop up, or the lack of auditing, for example.
Yeah, okay. Okay, I think everybody gets these, but we only have it 30 minutes and we are still kind of on the problem. So what can be done? And specifically, what can this universal metering and billing solution do for a cloud service provider?
Yeah, sure. Well, let me just highlight a few of the main um, challenges that we can address really with the Dell UMB. So first and foremost, I want to emphasize here that it is not a cloud management platform. So that it's not about orchestration. It's not about reserved instance optimization or making sure that your resources are populated into your data center or into your cloud. It's much more about getting the data out of these systems and making sure that you are um, um, generating meaningful billing lines, really. Being able to digest consumption metrics and translating them into a pay-per-use business model, really. So being able to rate your services, rate revisioning, discount management, and so forth, that is an issue currently, which, as I mentioned before, is most often handled with Excel or some homegrown solution, and that's really the missing piece of the puzzle that we're addressing here. So basically, providing that automation engine. Okay.
No, no, not really, Tim. I'm not confused. So you are saying this solution is not a CMP, right? But many CMPs really work into that area, right? They are claiming that they can handle this thing. So why our service providers should buy two different products? Don't get it.
Yeah, no, I understand that remark, and that's why I emphasized it also previously, because there's some uncertainty or unclarity there. Uh, we really in a different space here. It's really about making sure that you can digest the information from the cloud resources. So obtaining what has been orchestrated, what has been provisioned in your cloud, and then matching this with customer information, matching this data with contractual information in order to then push it into your general ledger or your ERP system, for that matter, right? And this is really what the UMB is. Uh, Bringing you that last piece of the puzzle of your delivery chain. Okay.
Okay, I get the value this provides kind of as a building block to the service provider management systems. But how can this be integrated with existing and current systems? Is this a software as a service thing?
Well, yeah, it can be a software as a service, but most of our clients, what we see in the field, because the clients of the UMB solution typically are building the clouds. We saw some interesting presentations before about Gaia X. This is very hot in Europe, of course, so there's a lot of new clouds being built out of Europe, and the UMB can really be deployed inside these data centers, right? So we can really you can really, as a managed service provider or as a cloud service provider, manage this solution in your own data center, fully in your control, and you can then build your own service portfolio, and in any way that you want, right? You can bill your services by the second, by the minute, by the hour. You can apply tiering, you can apply discounts and uplift strategies. All that is really packaged inside the solution, and that is provided to you with the tool. You can use that with the GUI or with our REST API interface. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, very well.
Okay.
So let's see the next. What's next here, right? And
Yeah. No.
getting
Sure.
most of the things, but how this fits into Dell, right? What this is the space here, right? And people may wonder, right? Because we are saying this is on-prem. Many people want to start thinking, okay. Uh, Jurgen saying that we are giving you a bad time, team. So we will try to relax for the demo. On the demo, it will be you giving us a bad time.
Mm.
So how this fits into Dell, right? Because people think, okay, on premise, then are gonna force me to buy some Dell gear. Well, in reality, no. We want to make you profit. We want you as a service provider to get the maximum, and that's why we don't limit this to a Dell hardware installation, right? You don't need to run Dell. Obviously, we think it's the best possible solution. It's fully compatible and tested, but it's not necessary, right? Second key point here on this solution is that it's API fast. And that enable that if you are in a startup and you want to start a service provider business from scratch, you can use this as your master data. But if you want, you can complement what you already have. So you are keeping your investment. You are enhancing your investment. You are not replacing it. That's a very important thing. And another key driver is that this allows you to maximize all the solutions that we are creating with our network of service providers and partners, right? That's where the value of Dell has. Dell has invested. There is a dedicated team. I'm part of it. that for years has been working in developing infrastructure, platform, and business services together with this network of partners, right? And examples could be BDI Horizon, Desktop as a Service, IBM Blockchain, or Azure Stack on Rail. All these solutions, right, at the end, need a multi-cloud metering and cost management components. So this will enable to have it pre-integrated. That's the key value from Dell perspective of this solution. It's not only provide all the Exivity functionality we're gonna see later, it will still have time, but also it provides no extra cost for contracting for Dell, and also the capability to contract in more than 180 countries. What is a big advantage when you have to put this in a global scale, right? So think about all this can be done. It's really important. And the most important thing is that your commercial model is not limited by your technical constraints. With this solution, you can really put any commercial model. You can put really pay as use. No more renting, no more financing, no more paying monthly payments. It will be real pay per consumption. And that's what I think it's a different here.
Okay. So all these look in action. So I'm a service provider. How do I see my customers' charges? How do I see these data?
Yeah. So let's get to the fun part, I would say, and see a bit of live action with the in our demo environment, and how then we can view that from a service provider. So what we're looking at here. Oh, let me just move this away. What we're looking at here is basically the UMB solution live in action. So of course this is a demo environment, but this is something that you could very much have running inside your own cloud. And as an admin, you will have access to all the bits and pieces of the solution. But of course, there's role-based access, so you can have different users with different roles, even end customers. Okay. So what we can do now is set up that entire data flow where your consumption from your Kubernetes or VMware system is flowing into the system. That entire basically extraction and transformation data flow can be set up in our data pipeline section. That's for one. If you're interested in that, come find us after this meeting, and I can tell you all about that. But first and foremost, let's look at the drill down capabilities that we can offer with the solution out of the box if you are a managed service provider. So we can actually
Okay.
see here already for the reseller Acme Corp here what their total charge was for the running month of March now where we're in. We can also, by the way, see what their costs were to get some visibility on the actual net value of both customers and services. And we can now drill down into that reseller Acme. And now we can actually see all of the different clients that are being serviced by Acme Corp. So this is really nice. I can pin them to the top. We have this kind of BI functionality inside the product, basically at hand. Uh, and not only can we group the total charge by client, but we can actually go one step further and view the consumed services on a per client or contract basis. Let's do that. Let's zoom into Obach the GmbH as an example and view what have they been consuming in this period of time. And there we can see different things like Kubernetes, some Azure Stack. We integrate with Azure Stack as well. If you have that running on-prem, even if it's in a disconnected cloud, you can integrate that as well. Some VMware. Now, if you want to take that one step further, you may want to also see what actual um, what VMs or what users are consuming that particular service. We can get visibility on that as well. So we can click on the instance button as an example here for the disk storage service, and it will bring us to another report, which basically gives us a very granular report, visibility on disk storage on a per VM basis, right? So really the ability from top down, reseller perspective, diving down into the very nitty-gritty details of a per VM consumption metric. And then on top of that, we also give you the ability to run what we call like pro forma invoice reports, which you could use to basically send into your general ledger, right? So this is basically an invoice, a pro forma invoice that could be used by your SAP system, your ERP system for further handling. Okay.
Okay, this is very interesting. But I have a customized charging logic already designed for my existing services. And as I expand into other business areas as Edge and IoT, how do I combine these new sources of metering with the existing ones? So how does UMB take this into account?
Yes, yes. So how we handle that? Basically, it is a agnostic approach for metering and billing, right? So we can actually digest both public cloud services as well as on-prem cloud services. And with public cloud, basically the public cloud provider dictates how you need to charge it. Right? Maybe you can apply an uplift, but there's not so much you can do about it, right? Unless you want to re-architect that service catalog, which of course you could, but typically you don't. However, with on-premise data sources built around systems like OpenStack or VMware, you would actually need to build your own service catalog. And now with the UMB, you can, right? So what you can do here is you can define your own service catalog, including the charging intervals. So maybe you want to charge your service by the hour, by the day, you can do that now. Maybe you want to have rating applied based on a certain configuration of tiers. So depending on the amount of consumption, the price will change. All these kind of scenarios can be implemented and can be designed in this product. Okay. And then on top of that, we can actually, for each of these services, configure specific rates. So we can go in here and set a specific price per disk storage or vCPU on a list price level. So standard pricing with different start and end dates. So we can have different rate revisions. And we can even override that on a customer level. So if you have a special customer for which you need to apply a specific rate, you can override that rate and give that customer another rate.
Okay, and all these changes are manual. What if a customer? We need to set a campaign to apply a specific discount for a period of time for a specific customers.
Yeah. No, sure. So giving every customer its own price. I mean, that's quite time consuming if you have thousands of clients, right? So I wouldn't recommend it. I mean, you can, but I wouldn't recommend it. So what you would typically do in such a case is applying rate adjustments. Okay. So a rate adjustment basically is our container word for being able to apply either a discount or an uplift on a certain set of clients or services. So, for example, in the example of Albert GmbH, I actually applied a 10% VM discount with a start date of January this year. And it's open-ended, meaning it's a permanent discount. However, I can also set an end date, and then it will only be a temporary discount. And the same I can do for uplifts. So I can actually apply a premium to a set of services. And that will be something you might want to consider if you are actually managing databases for one of your clients, and maybe you get an 18% uplift because of that, right? So a lot of variations you have here, a lot of tools you have here in order to apply different rating strategies for your on-prem and public cloud service catalogs combined.
Okay, I understand, Tim, but all this is the portal for the service provider. And all this is great, right? All these analytics, all that is wonderful, right? But I'm kind of obsessed with self-service because that way they will call less the service provider and they will try to figure that out. If the service provider is lucky and the customer is well educated, they will try to figure it out about the billing, what is happening. But at the same time, we don't want to show our the service provider costs, right? We just want to expose the information of that tenant. So how is that possible? Is something we can do about it?
Yeah, no, certainly. And there's different ways how you can approach that. So in general, the UMB takes an API first approach. So this means anything you can do with the GUI, you can also do with the API. So if you already have a self-service portal, we're not going to force you to use this portal if you don't want to. Of course, you can entirely brand it and make it look like your own, so that's not a problem. But if you're happy with your current self-service dashboard, why would you want to move to this? Well, you can actually use all the data from this system and expose it in your self-service dashboard. Or if you do like this dashboard, and I think it can be very useful and interesting for your clients, very transparent, I would say, then you can give them access. Let me just show you there how that could look like if I were a client. So in this example here, if you can see my screen still, we're looking at the account for Obacht GmbH, and they could actually very well log in with SAML2 providers, right? So that can all be nicely and tightly integrated, and then they only get to see the data for which they have access. Okay, so they get to see maybe the spendings of each of their departments, and they can group all that data by service in the same way as you as an admin would be able to do. But in this case, it's fully isolated. It has role-based access controls, of course. But it's all the
Uh,
same dashboard, but different roles.
so it's not just two levels of permission of use, really. You can drill down, and depending, maybe a department can see just a piece of it and don't see the entire operation of the company, right? Even a
Absolutely.
business unit can potentially have that visibility, right?
Absolutely. So let's take the example here of the RT department. We could even have a separate account for the RT department of Obacht GmbH. They would get access to this dashboard, and they can drill down into what services did I consume in this month, right? So this can also be interesting for dispute handling. So maybe your finance department will have time to do other things now because they don't get all these phone calls about I didn't start any VM, I didn't allocate that storage, but now they can actually do the dispute handling themselves simply by logging into this dashboard and viewing what instances have consumed this storage now.
Uh-huh. Okay, good. We can be talking about currency. We could be talking about white labeling, how to manage budget and see the trend in time. That's something that some customer has demanded before. But I think that we have still a few minutes, and it will be great if someone from the audience jump in with some tough questions. Apparently, we could not break team, and now this is your chance to put him on the test.
Maybe
Again,
also good. Maybe also good to know, from the integration perspective, we have a very extensive um, set of data extractors, data extraction templates out of the box. So basically anything you can integrate with. And if there's no integration template available, it's very easy to build a new integration template. And that is really at the heart of the fundament of this solution, that it's really universal. It's really able to consume any metric from any IT resource system. Okay. As a matter of fact, we even integrate now with Redfish, which is a bare metal API that is also being used by pretty much every hardware vendor, including Dell. So even if you're positioning a bare metal solution, you could use the UMB solution for that too.
okay,
Okay.
Tim, we have a question here. So assume I'm starting from scratch and want to implement this to 500 to my 500 customers and the hybrid AWS environment. Where do I start, and what is the effort here?
Yeah. So in principle, so so what we would do is offer a free proof of concept and just show you that what we are saying is really true, and we can get this started really quickly. And then we run the proof of concept in your environment, so you can see it with your data, and then you will I immediately start getting new ideas and trying to add more to that puzzle to really drive the entire metering and billing for your company, and not only for Amazon, right? Because why should you limit it to Amazon? Because you pretty much I'm quite sure you will also have on-premise data sources, and that is really what you want to achieve with something like the UMB. Get a single pane of glass across all your IT and not just one cloud.
Yeah, and that's important because the beauty of this solution is not talking about the now and all the capabilities of pre-integrated solutions that are already there. It's about the future because we don't know what this is going to take us, right? I have seen telcos now reselling utilities, right? Gas and electricity. So we don't know what the business is going to take us. We don't know what is gonna business gonna demand us in order to enable this, and time to market is critical. So if you are taking 2 months extra and you are not releasing a new offering that is already built and ready simply because your back office is not prepared to adjust the billing of the solution, it's really a business opportunity you are missing there, right? And this and capability, this engine, this ingestion engine is really what is at the core of the solution, and we will believe really it's a fundamental piece that complement absolutely the Oracle, the SAP, the Dynamics any company can be using for the regular invoicing, right? So, but I think we are almost there. We are almost in time. Still a lot chance to jump in with some question. I think it's a delicate topic. People usually don't want to talk about money in public, so I fully understand that. Just to let you know, we will be around Joao, team, and myself on the Dell Technology booth. You can drop me or just chat with us. We are easygoing, happy to have a small chat about how this can really is if it is really magic or there is something real. You see, there is not just PowerPoints. So we promise as a masterclass that there will be real things that you can touch. But nevertheless, we'll be here till Thursday. And if you're running out of time and you are dropping today, it will be a pity because you will miss the music that Dell is promoting. But nevertheless, you can arrange a meeting with us at exivity.com/UMB. U for universal, M for metering, and B for billing. Exivity.com/UMB. And from there, you can learn a bit more about the solution. And obviously, you can contact anytime in order to go and move forward with this proof of concept. Because we really believe you need to test by yourself in your real environment, and you will be convinced of all the advantages this can provide to you. It's really a self-funding solution.
Absolutely. One final question for Tim. How much time do we need to spin up a POC with this solution?
Well, probably that very much depends on the amount of data sources, but we should, in 1 or 2 days, you can get pretty far. The deployment is really within 1 hour, and then it's more about having the discussion about how your service catalog looks like, because that is quite often the most complex part. Finding out, okay, what are our billing rules? Sometimes these billing rules are not really defined well, they're not written down well, and that is also one benefit you have during the deployment of the UMB, that you find out how you're actually running your business and that you are then automating it and actually writing it down.
Yeah, absolutely. 1 or 2 days, I will give it a go, definitely. Thank you, Tim.
So we deliver. We said 30 minutes and we did it in 30 minutes. So thank you guys for staying with us. It was really a challenge.
Yeah.
So hope you enjoyed the session.
Yeah. See you.
Thank you all.
See you in the
Bye-bye.
concert. Bye-bye.
Bye.